Welcome into Fireside Knicks, Bryce Gelman alongside Brett Hamfling. It's been a while, Brett. We're finally back here, and the Knicks are the same old Knicks, 26 and 23. They're the 7th seed up of 3 games of the Bulls for the 11th seed in that play-in. Brett, before we start that, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I missed your face.
That's nice.
I don't remember exactly when we last recorded, but it's been a lot of ups and downs with the Knicks. They went on 8-game win streak, 5-game losing streak, 4-game win streak. It's up and down. It's what the Knicks have done over the years.
It's what the Knicks have always done since I've been alive. I know you could remember the days of 1999. I cannot.
Not well.
Not well. I mean, hey, you were like what?
A 6.
4, 5, 6. Yeah, I wasn't born yet. Brett's a lot older than me. If you couldn't tell.
My first memory is Allen Houston off the backboard, off the rim, off the backboard. I was in my kitchen.
Yes, you're old. You're old, man. You're old. You're washed.
Hey, at least I get to have a couple good memories.
All right, let's get into some Knicks trade talk. Actually, but before we do it, I'm jumping the gun here a little. It's been a while. I'm a little rusty. All right, let's talk about just the state of the Knicks overall. There are 3 players on this Knicks team averaging over 20 points. Obviously, the 3 are Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson, and R.J. Barrett. That is the first time. It would be the 5th time since 1990 that 3 players on a single team are averaging 20-plus points per game. I'm sure the Heat did it once or twice with Bosh, LeBron, and Wade, but
I don't know if they did.
They could have. I'm trying to think of who else. I don't want to get too sidetracked here. Who else could have done it?
How many? It's 3 times since
1990. So that's 33 seasons right there.
Okay,
that's not.
So Bosh scored 21 a game in 2014. So yeah, that's probably one of them.
Okay, that's definitely.
And that's like considered one of the best big threes ever. So.
And okay. Oh, speaking about big threes, the Knicks are barely over 500. They pulled out a gritty win last night against the Cavs. Like, props to them. They beat the Donovan Mitchell-led Cavs, who had the last shot he missed. The Knicks currently are still in the middle. And they have 3 solid players, Brett. This is not good. It's not good.
Well, yeah, they have 3 solid players, but it's a stars league. I mean, listen, they have 3 players that score 20 points. They also shoot the majority of the shots. I don't think that, like, just because they have these 3 players scoring 20 points, they should be winning a title.
Well, here's the thing, Brett. But here's the thing. Julius Randle, 2 seasons ago, averaged almost the same points per game, the same rebounds. He averaged 2 more assists then because he was the primary ball handler. And he made All-NBA 3rd team. So if you make one of the All-NBA teams, you're considered one of the stars of the NBA. Julius Randle is doing that. He's shooting a little bit better from the field. Doesn't have the ball in his hands as much as he has in the past. He's more efficient as a player. He's turned the ball over less. Tell me how that's not a star. It's a stars league. You have a guy averaging 24, 10, and 4.
All right, so he got that All-NBA nod. It was probably partially the storyline after the huge jump he made and his, in how he made the Knicks better, got them into the playoffs. So there was some storyline to that. I don't think he's going to be an All-NBA player. He is short, he is just outside that. So let's say 16 to 25, something like that. If that's your top player, like, you could be a good team, but that's not like, that player isn't carrying a team deep into the playoffs. But Julius has been great. Last night he was great. It's some big threes. And I'm not even saying it's that we don't have that second star. Just Brunson has been good. RJ, I've had my issues with RJ. He's been playing better the last 15 or so games. I still want to see the field goal percentage even higher with him. I want him to take a little better shots. But I don't know. If we're just talking macro and where the Knicks are, I'm decently okay. I'm pleasantly surprised, maybe happier than you. 26 and 23. I think the Knicks over-under – stop shaking your head. I think the Knicks over-under was 38.5.
Pleasantly okay. That's where we are. As fans of the Knicks, we're pleasantly okay. Oh, I'd rather be pleasantly terrible than pleasantly okay. That's for sure.
Why?
Because you got a better draft pick.
Not pleasantly terrible. If you're terrible,
no. If we were, listen, if the Knicks were currently, let's say, 15 and 25, 15 and 30, right? And we're sitting here guaranteed to get a top 4 pick in this next draft. I'd be pleasantly
okay, but that's
that's pleasantly terrible.
Fine, but we're so far away from that. Like we're not even close to that.
I get
like,
that.
There's these teams,
like I'm just saying,
but
and
like
they have way better upsides. So now this brings me to my point, because we talked about how pleasantly okay we are with the Knicks this year. Let's talk trades. There are a bunch of different trades that we'll talk about in terms of stuff that's being reported, but there hasn't really been much. We were talking about this before the show. Brett, is there one guy that you want to go? Do you listen? Let me ask you this: do you think the Knicks need to make a trade right now?
No, I don't, because if they need to make a trade, it's for a superstar. It was for a Donovan Mitchell. It was for a Devin Booker, who was available for 1 second. Probably never was. It was for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I don't think we need to upgrade. If we can upgrade at wing, people are talking. OG Anunoby's not a small upgrade. That's a big piece, and he's not the superstar.
But that's the one guy that's been reported recently, and to give up a guy that you drafted in the lottery at the 9th pick in the 2020 NBA draft, and Obi Toppin, a guy that you passed up on Tyrese Halliburton for, only to play him less than 15 minutes per game in his 3 years with the Knicks, and 2 first-round picks, not unprotected, may I add, but 2 first-round picks nonetheless, probably the Pistons pick, maybe a protected Knicks pick, the Mavs pick. I just cannot fathom that sort of trade, because the second you trade Obi Toppin, the second he's getting 25-plus minutes of run, the second you see his value go up exponentially.
Yeah, but listen, I don't think you should go backwards. Like, the Obi pick already happened. You don't, at this point, you don't not do it because of
I'm just saying it's in value.
You
can't sacrifice on his value. You know him to be an extremely efficient player. To give him up with 2 first-round picks, might I add you, that you used to get Jalen Brunson. Those picks are going to be the picks that they got last year, the Bucks pick or the Pistons pick that they traded Jalen Duren for, whoever the moves they made in the last year's draft. That's what we're doing right now.
Sure,
that's what we're talking about.
But still, I still don't think you could go backwards, because if you redraft Obi's draft, he's not going 7. He's probably outside the lottery. He's, I think, in the top 15. He's probably played, I don't know exactly who's in that draft, 2nd or 3rd least minutes. And
I think that's easy to say, though. That's easy to say because of how little he's played. It's very easy to say.
Listen, I've been an Obi fan. I like him as a person. I kind of like him as a player. He's not a star. Like, doesn't have the star talent. Like, he is a good role player. He's good energy. He's shooting the ball pretty good this season. He's been, slumping recently, even though the last 2 games he's been good. I don't know. I'm kind of like even keeled on his expectation at this point. If he was better, I think he would find a few more minutes. Like, he played 10 minutes last night, I think, and he hit 2 threes. Like,
yeah,
gotta
play the Tibbs, guy. Gotta play the guy.
It might be Tibbs, but like, that's he's not the player that we thought he was coming out of the draft. He still could be a good role player.
Yeah.
Listen, and this is all to say, I don't need to trade for OG Anunoby. Like, he's a good player. He's going to cost a lot. Like,
why sacrifice assets to acquire a guy which overcomplicates your system even more? And Toppin, the 8th pick in that draft, both of us are wrong, has the ability to contribute in his role as he is right now. And I wish Julius Randle was able to play the 5 more often, because right now would be the perfect time. No, but like, with his back to the basket, first off, this Knicks team thrives with Mitchell Robinson on the court. They are significantly worse on defense. You can look up their stats. Emmanuel Quickley is the only guy on the team who plays the same with and without Mitchell Robinson on the court. Take him off the court, Julius Randle is not giving you anywhere near the level of rim protection, of course, defensive and offensive rebound. I'm just saying. So to put Obi Toppin, listen, Obi Toppin is not the type of 4 that Julius Randle is. He's not going to go down in the post and bang other guys.
Listen, it would be a totally different lineup. It's a small ball lineup. The hope is that Randle brings out the center. has a mismatch there offensively. We'll get out rebounded because we're not a good rebounding team besides Mitchell Robinson. I mean, Randall's a good offensive rebounder, and when he gets under there, he makes space, which is great. But the point is not that Obi and Randall are this great 4-5 combo lineup. It's that you could steal a few minutes with it to get Obi on the court, to give a different look.
It's just so hard. It's really so hard. And with a coach, with the head coach that is so in line with the front office, this is a rumor, obviously, and OG could be a Knick. The Knicks could have no interest. The Knicks might have no interest in him. But if they did, then wouldn't you think that the Knicks would be more willing to play Obi Toppin if that's who they're looking to give up in a trade with 2 other first-round picks? Don't you expect from a guy like Tom Thibodeau, a guy who talks to Leon Rose, we know this, based off what Brian Geltzeiler told us. Check that out on our YouTube. Based off what he said, these guys clearly discuss plans for the future.
Okay.
Why is it?
Here's
why
my counter.
Let me just say this. Why is Obi Toppin playing 10 minutes a game?
Here's my counter.
The last 2
my
games.
Counter. I don't think Tibbs gives a shit. I don't.
No. Listen, that's the right answer.
He cares about winning. He cares about winning today. He doesn't think about the future. He doesn't care about the future. He cares about winning today. He's not trying to prop Obi's value up. He is in some sort of lockstep with Leon Rose. He's part of the draft process. But when it comes to that type of things, like I don't think Leon Rose is mandating you have to play Obi Toppin. I know he's not because it's not happening.
I just think like it's not like we're sitting here and Obi Toppin's putting up 30% shooting nights. He's extremely efficient. You play the guy. It's the fact that Mitchell Robinson is out multiple weeks now and Obi Toppin's minutes are decreasing. Like I can't fathom the reasoning for that because both ways it doesn't make sense. Even if the Knicks aren't going to trade him and they're not looking to trade him, he's still a good player. But even if they are and he's a good player, you play him.
So I think
it doesn't make sense.
I think tomorrow's a really good test because the last 2 games, last night he was 4 of 6. 4 of 6 last night, and Sunday versus Toronto, he's 5 of 7. He's 9 for his last 13. 9 for his last 13. If he doesn't, is that right, Matt? Yeah. If he doesn't play tomorrow after 2 good games.
9 for his last 13, what? Field goal shooting? Or
field goals, yeah.
Yes, good math.
Extremely efficient. Good. If he doesn't play tomorrow after those 2 games with Mitchell Robinson out, he's not going to play. I mean, if you don't increase the minutes there, like it's not going to happen. So tomorrow's a good test.
So it's either Tibbs is an idiot or he's directly that's come on, like that's a given at this point, or he's directly going against what the front office wants. There just doesn't, I can't think of a reason why you don't play him, and especially if he doesn't get run tomorrow. You gotta play him. You need to play him. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But listen, but the other thing I will say is that the value that you could potentially acquire in a trade with 2 other first-round picks plus Obi, listen, I don't think they're going to resign the guy, but those 3 assets combined would be way more worth it as an addition to other pieces in a trade for a star. And I understand that there's no disgruntled star available right now, but it would just make more sense. Like most Knicks fans are in agreement that the thing that the Knicks lack the most is a star. Why go out and acquire, a really good player in OG. He's a solid player, but why acquire another guy who's going to complicate things, take minutes away from other guys who should be playing? It's a no for me.
Yeah. I mean, some people on Twitter were talking about, Jeremy Cohen was talking about how they think the front office is really eyeing towards the 2024 summer. I don't even know off the top of my head who was around, but like you said, there's not really a star.
Tatum.
They're locking Jason Tatum up for
Giannis.
Look at both of those
we
guys.
Giannis to the Mecca. Giannis to the Mecca. Build it and they'll come. That's why this front office still might not.
Giannis would be my number one. Giannis would be my number 1 player I would choose.
Oh really? That's a crazy take, man. That's a hot take, Brent.
No, I mean some people would take Luka.
Well, oh, you mean to start a franchise? I thought you were talking about among the free agents in the 2024
No,
class.
yeah, in the league. Yeah, I mean, Giannis.
I'd say, Luka because of the age, but Giannis the best player in basketball.
I'll take Giannis.
I'd pick Luka.
Yeah, I don't know who else is out there. John Macri wrote an article about Gary Trent Jr. is available. Good shooter, doesn't give you a ton else. Kind of would be a Fournier upgrade, but he's a restricted free agent at the end of the year. So a lot of these things, like, do you give up assets and then have to throw someone a contract, or give up assets and just have someone for half a year when you're not going to win a championship? That's why most of these things we're talking about are not going to make sense.
That's the question right there. That's the question. And the Knicks have not put themselves in the best position going forward. Again, I don't
know if I agree with that.
Like I've been saying on this podcast since our first episode together in August, that the Knicks have not helped themselves in the way that they don't lose like they should and they don't win like they should.
Dude,
they win when they should lose. I know. Okay, but other teams have been way better at it than the Knicks. The Knicks in the last 22 years have the second highest lottery projected odds. I forgot where I saw this stat. It was a few months old. Actually, it was on 538 by Nate Silver. So these are real facts, and you know analytics, you know facts as well. They are the second projected team. You know how many top 3 picks they got?
One. And it was
one
after a big drop off of Zion and John Morant. I know. Listen, for 20 years, we've been terrible. I agree. For 20 years, we've been miserable, done everything wrong. But that doesn't mean that this last 18 months, they haven't been sort of pushing the right moves. And maybe they missed out on some moves also with Donovan Mitchell. But they are in a better position. They have a better team. They have their own draft picks and a couple others here and there. They have somewhat of a flexible cap situation.
No, they don't. No, take that back.
Yes, they do.
Flexible cap? No, they don't. They've got They've got 3 guys signed for over $30 million the next 3 years. That's $90 million of cap for 3 mid-stars.
Yeah, they're mid-stars, but they're guys. I mean, not that they want to trade them, but they're guys that are tradable. Every team has guys locked up for
not 3. Not 3.
But some of them have guys making 40.
And so those teams that have a guy making 40 are teams that are in the top 4 or 5 in their conference. That's the thing. Is now you got 3 big contracts.
They're not that big. Randall's is not that big. It's
combined, they're big.
Brunson's is not that big.
Combined 3 contracts together are huge considering what they equally give you. Yes, they're all averaging 20 plus points, but these guys, like you said, to your credit, in your own words, are not stars. So, Brett, this is where we are, and this is what we end up talking about every damn show. But we gotta plug something. We got some exciting guests coming up on Fireside Knicks, so you're gonna want to stay tuned for that. A lot of good things coming, especially check out the Fireside Knicks Twitter. If you guys are running that one. Things are looking up for Fireside Knicks. I wish I could say the same about the team that we talk about.
I'm more high on them and more high on Fireside. So
I never said I wasn't high on Fireside. I'm talking about
both are rockets up.
Okay. All right. Well, Mr. Positive here with Debbie Downer. Brett Hamfling, Bryce Gelman. Yeah, it is. That's why we work well together. All right. For Brett, I'm Bryce. We'll see you guys next time.
All right. Take care.